Take 5 with Ricovibes, the ultimate in entertainment. Live interviews, social commentary, and so much more. Go tell somebody you're now locked into Take 5 with Ricovibes.
What's up, everybody? It's yours truly, Ricovibes, and welcome to another edition of Take 5. Now, I've got an entrepreneur, a real estate mogul, promoter. I don't know which title she's going by today, but welcome, Keisha Platinum, to the show.
Thank you for having me, Rico.
So which title are you going by today?
Not a promoter, for
Not
sure.
a promoter.
No.
Okay.
Because that title was given up from 2018.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
2018.
What was the last party you kept? Was
Last party was Flawless.
And that was the one with
Yannick Curvy
That
was the last event I actually promoted.
Right. That was at the Atlanta. Can't remember the name of the place.
Yes.
Something of Atlanta.
Right. It was somewhere over there by Mount Industrial.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that hot venue.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Yes.
And now you're a CEO of the Slaughtertone Foundation.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Slaughtertone. But before we get into that, talk a little bit about your brother.
Rico.
Yeah.
God.
I know.
Well,
I know.
I don't even know where to begin, but I know that on July 24th, 1984 or 1983, 1984, I think, my mom brought home a chunky little 8 pound 14
8
ounce.
pounds?
Yes.
Wow.
8 pound 14 ounce little boy.
Yeah.
And I had many dolls, a lot of dolls. And when she brought him home, it's like they didn't exist anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Ever since then, I had him under my wings. Yeah. You know, he was, I guess, my protege kind of a thing. Yeah. And when I relocated from Florida, because after school, came to Georgia, I opened a restaurant.
I remember.
And that's on Columbia Drive, Decatur. And he was the one that was pretty much operating the restaurant. Yeah. And I relocated back to Florida. And then I came back and, Slaughter was just... Well, before then, let's reverse a little bit. Rewind, I should say. He's always been into music. He played... Little Dragon was his first song.
Little Dragon?
Little Dragon.
Okay.
I mean, the name, as you can see, is a Little Dragon.
Right.
That was the first song he played when he went to St. Catherine High School.
Okay. And
he was the owner of the sound, and then Fudgy, and then Steadman, and then Scratchy, and then Slaughtertone came. Right. And he's more like a clash DJ, very controversial, like clashing. He got into juggling after a long period of time, but when it comes on to King Addies and Mataran, and that was his, he got excited about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So that was him.
I remember the first clash that he got into. It was Wiseman in it was Aquarium at the time.
Aquarium. It was
the day after
Turkey
Bowl.
Right. Thanksgiving.
Turkey Bowl. And he came with Dre. Dre was his selector.
Yes.
And the whole bag of records of CD, whatever it was, turnover.
Yes.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
Rico, and you know what? Slaughter is one of the only DJs that had like pouches. They call it pouches back then.
Yes.
And he never labeled the CDs.
Never did. I often wonder how he knew what was what.
How, Rico?
I never knew how he knew what was what, but he knew exactly what everything was.
Yes.
Another story I remember with him was I was walking on the strip at Dream Weekend. And I heard a horn blowing behind me saying, Rico. I'm like, who knows me in Jamaica? And it was him.
Yeah.
So, and I remember you guys being in VVIP.
Yeah.
In Dream Weekend. So I have so much, I couldn't come to the funeral.
Yeah.
I know I was supposed to be there. I couldn't because it was just so emotional. I couldn't.
Yeah. I sang at the funeral.
I know.
Yeah.
I heard.
He said to me, Platinum, any singer sing can raise any dead. Wow. That's what he said to me.
Wow.
And I sang and he never got up.
Wow.
Yeah. It was an emotional experience, and I have not been the same since.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therapies upon therapies upon therapies upon therapies. Yeah. I experienced death, but I think the combination of my dad dying first and 4 months after he died, I think that it turned me for a six. Like, I'm just,
Wow.
never experienced anything like this. Like, he was like the closest person to me. Rico, I mean, like, just the closest. My secrets, his secrets, everything. He knew everything about me.
So basically, you were your brother's keeper. He
Yes.
was his sister's keeper.
Yes. Yes.
So talk about the foundation that you set up.
So, after he died, I got so much inboxes from Instagram, Facebook. People reaching out to me saying, "Hey, you know that your brother used to take care of me and my kids them. You know, your brother used to send my son go school." I'm not talking about 1 or 2 or 3 individuals. And I'm like, what? Like, you remember I said he knows, I know all. Some people I've never even knew they knew my brother. And conversations that they had, and they sent me voice notes and stuff that he did for them. I'm like, what?
So you didn't know all that?
No. Wow. Rico, the man owe me money, you know. And these people would tell me like, Slaughter used to send me my daughter to school, you know. School fee, lunch money, school. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
after his funeral and people reaching out to me and everything, I said to myself, I'm looking through the messages, because during that time I was unable to reach out to a lot of people and even read my Instagram or read my inboxes. And when I had the time and I sat down and actually looked through the messages, I said to myself, my God, this man was, I mean, I know in general, you know, he used to have treats in the community and stuff like that, but he did that with the kindness of his heart. And when I saw the amount of people that he was helping, I said to myself, I have to continue this. You know, I have to continue, because that was his dream. I have to continue and make his legacy live on. And I made a twist to it, because gun violence in Jamaica is so rampant. Every day, Rico, like every day somebody dies in Jamaica. The most recent touching one was my mom was a principal at a Rising Park all-age school, and her co-worker's son, who was a major in the army, and he's also a doctor.
I heard about that.
Yes. Me and Bunny went to school together. Bunny's my friend, my peer. And he is a major in the Jamaica Armed Forces. Also a doctor at KPH, has his own practices. He does very well. And when my mom called me and said, Keisha, Bunny just died, I'm like, Mommy, what happened to Bunny? Because he works out, he lives healthy. They kill him, Rico?
Did they ever find out who killed your brother?
No, they didn't find out who killed him. Wow. Yeah, they never did.
Senseless.
Yeah.
So the foundation obviously helps continuation of what he was doing.
Absolutely.
So the event is July 22nd.
Yes.
And it's actually bigger this year.
Yes, because it's the last year.
Oh, it's the last year?
Yes.
You're no longer doing it?
No. I'm no longer... The foundation will go on, but I'm no longer throwing an event to support the foundation.
Why?
Rico, all right, so throwing an event in Georgia is not how it used to be. And sometimes I am at home and I don't feel like coming out my house. Or sometimes I have to be somewhere. And in the event I miss one event or miss a couple of events, I go Keisha Platinum something because she never support me. Yeah. And I not buy no liquor. If I go, I not buy no comedy. I never say she buy no liquor. Yeah. Rico.
Yeah.
You know how long I've been doing this.
Of course.
I've been doing this for quite some time. So
Not to mention that, not to cut you, but not to mention that when Slaughter was alive, he played for a lot of these same promoters for free.
Yes.
For free.
Yes.
And he may not have said that to anyone, but you know that,
Yes.
I know that, they know that.
Yes. A lot of promoters.
So no
come to
one
me.
should ever say anything about you didn't buy no liquor or anything like that.
And Rico, even if he didn't play at their event, he's a man with love liquor.
And him come and support.
He's gonna buy,
Yeah.
if it's not one bottle, he's buying two.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
You see what I'm saying?
That's facts.
He will drink from now till the morning.
Yeah.
Regardless of his health, he might drink. So for a person to say, okay, I'm not gonna go to Keisha event or Turkle event because it's just I'm over it.
I got you.
And I have bigger fish to fry. So, and then it's not profitable.
Right.
Because, Rico, we're business owners, right? If you do all the events for the month, I calculate the bottles, calculate the gas, calculate the clothes, the hairdo, all of that. And then when your event come now, and you do the maths,
you don't even break even. I know.
you're still in the hole.
I know. But a lot of people don't do the maths.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's all about the numbers.
Yes.
So this is the last one. So that's why you made it so grand. You've
Yes.
got Kip Rich, you got Roundhead, all these artists who knew Slaughter very well and has agreed to come. Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
And,
it.
you know, you mentioned that he would play at events and not charge him. If I was a selector, I'm just saying, and my co-work had passed, regardless of what the relationship that they and Slaughter, because Slaughter was, as you know, controversial.
Yeah.
He's going to tell you to the
You
face.
always knew where you stood with Slaughter.
Exactly.
You know, you always knew where you stood with him. If he liked you, he liked you. If he didn't like you, you knew he didn't like you.
Right.
You always knew where you stood. He was not going to be talking behind your back.
No.
You always knew where you stood.
He was not that hypocrite.
No, he wasn't.
He will tell you, and if he didn't tell you, him just not gonna talk to
He's
you.
not going to talk to you. And he helped a lot of these selectors with dub plate links, as going so far as to cut the dub plates for them.
Yes.
So, I mean, I knew everything that was going on with Slaughter.
Yeah. And you know, if any one of them come to any event, I have to pay them.
Are you serious?
Yes. The exception of Navis. The exception of Navis, Bob. And Navis came to me and said to me, Keisha, Slaughter was out of town once. And he called me and said, Navis, me need you to go play upon a sound for me. I play this because I'm not there. And Navis went and played. And Navis said to me, Slaughter, I guess when he came back, he gave him all the proceeds from that event. And he wasn't there. And not only that, him and him was doing like a juggling and side by side. And then the money was there, like a money pull-up thing. And Navis said, Keisha, he gave me everything.
Wow.
So Navis is like, Keisha, I can't charge you for play fee. And Navis just came to Atlanta, and he has been with a lot of them prior to that. So, you know. But I can tell you this story, Rico. A man will live their life, and as soon as they pass, if there is not somebody that's in the world that loves that person or want to see their name continue to live on, they'll just die out 2 days or 3 days after the funeral. Slaughter will not do that to me. So I cannot do that to him. And he's a good man. Regardless of, he's a good man.
So what would you do? Obviously, you're not going to do the event anymore. What would you do following this year?
His memorial.
Okay.
And his memorial has always been,
Yeah.
you come, you eat, you drink,
Right.
you buy your drink if you want something to
Right.
drink.
Right.
I pay for event space and you guys come and just, yeah.
Gotcha.
Tony Mataran has never charged me. Grammy Kid has never charged me.
You and Mataran is different anyway.
Yes.
Him and Mataran was
Right,
different.
right.
And obviously, Grammy Kid is a different story as well.
Right.
So yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole? And I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No,
the, the whole, the whole industry here in Atlanta.
I'm- industry here in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Um, everybody's for themselves.
Gotcha.
Everybody's for themselves, and it's okay. You just have to know that. And I've always said the good thing is to know the situation you're getting into, is to know the people you're around, is to know. The good thing is to know.
Do you see it changing at all? Or
No,
has it
it's
changed?
always been like this.
We've been here. I've been here 20 years. You've been here before me.
Yes.
Is it better now or is it worse now?
Worse.
Wow.
It's worse now. Worse.
Can it change?
No.
Are you serious?
Positive. It will never change. It will only get worse.
That's really sad.
It is.
That's really sad. What can we do as individuals?
You don't have to change who you are, Rico, and I don't have to change who I am. But we can't, because I've spoken about this on many platforms. We can't push our beliefs onto anyone.
Gotcha.
We just have to work with whatever. The whole world has changed.
True.
And it has changed in our eyes, and we'll be like, oh my God, this is what's happening. But in Atlanta, it's I would say it's more of a crab in a barrel syndrome. It's more of,
if I hear that term one more time,
it is.
It's really sad.
It is.
Really, really sad. Because we all Caribbean people, we all immigrants, we all here to make a better living for ourselves, and we would think that you'd help each other to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
But we don't.
No. I've kept events in New York and also Florida. And everybody pays. Even if you're a promoter, you pay to come in their events. And them come and support you, even if you're not there.
Right. They'll send you a thing and whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Right? Buy a bottle, whatever.
Yeah.
Not here.
No.
Not
Rico.
here. Not here.
I remember COVID, and every out of town promoters will come here to Atlanta, and if you see their events, Rico, the place are
and a lot of us promote it for free. Become ambassadors for free. This is something that we talk about.
Yes.
But let one of us is doing something, they'll barely want to share your flyer or even like your flyer. So I often wonder, what is it? I don't get it.
It's the thought process. And it starts from here. Yeah. And me and you can't go in nobody's head and change over there. So my thing is, I know of other ways to make money.
Right.
And events are not making any money. My I should say my events, because other people will say otherwise.
Events are not making money. I mean, I'm out there every night. I can tell you who's making money. You just heard me on the phone with somebody, right?
Right.
Just tell me whatever. That's what I said to them, because he lost.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm not going to kill a person.
Right.
He's going to keep something again. So yeah, you got to be aware of your fellow man, fellow woman, so to speak.
Right.
And be in the trenches with them, because we are in the trenches with them.
We are. And Rico, you can't, I don't understand from marketing standpoint. Every weekend, right? We do the same. I become bored easily. So if we do the same thing every year, every week, every month,
the results are going to be the same.
The results are going to be the same,
Right.
Yeah. So if we kind of switch things up a little bit, this is just my thing. I was thinking of like an organization where all the promoters who want to actually be a promoter come together and choose their dates, and so nobody have interlapping date. Because another thing is, I don't want to go to two persons event one night.
In the same night, correct.
I come to party late.
Right.
They have me as a late comer. I live very far. They say I'm late, and I accept it.
Right.
I don't want to rush from Austell to Lithonia, from Lithonia to, I don't want to do that. I just want to go to Austell, or I just want to come to Lithonia.
Right.
So.
So how can folks get tickets? How can they support if they not coming to the event? Can they support in other ways?
Yes, absolutely.
How can they do that?
They can go to slaughtertonefoundation.com and purchase a ticket for $30.
Okay.
And you can give it to somebody who wants to come.
Okay.
If you don't want to purchase a ticket for $30, it's okay. They can purchase books, whatever school supplies.
Got it.
And just call me up, DM me. I am Keisha Platinum all over Instagram. I'm Keisha Jones, Facebook, and tell me how to collect the books and pencils. Okay. Every year I touch for the last 3 years. I've been giving. Started off with 200, and I went 3 and 4. I want to do at least 500 to 1,000 students this year.
Wow. Is that in a particular area in Jamaica, or where is it?
It's all over, actually. Okay. So we're from Spanish Town.
Right.
Slaughter went to St. Catherine Prep.
Okay.
My mom taught at Horizon Park Primary. Okay. He went to St. Catherine. I went to Jonathan Grant. Okay. So all these schools we've touched. And also Eltham, we never went there, but they're in the vicinity, and there are a lot of students within that school that don't have parents.
Gotcha.
Parents died. The father died, gunshot. Right. The mother died. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now a lot of these people are single mothers that don't have a father. So my foundation, on the Slaughtertown Foundation, it does help students that don't have the means and necessary tools to start school September morning. They don't have the book bag.
Got it.
I do funding as well. The ones that are really poverty stricken, they don't have lunch money. I give them money to go to school. So
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Last year we give over 150,000 Jamaican dollars, which is like 1,000 US, and it's $5,000 for students. They gave envelopes with money in there, and the parents will send them to school for lunch money, and they got their bags, they got their pencils, they got their book bags, their sharpeners. I say, last year as well, Sean Pauls, he contributed 3 computers to Horizon Park from his foundation to ours to help them. Students, with their research, their homework, who doesn't have a laptop at home. And that was there for them, accessibility. So my motto is, you're wondering, how does a book and pencil help stop gun violence? Right. Rico, I've never had the opportunity not to have. But I know the students who don't have.
Got it.
If they have a new bag, new nice foreign books that come from foreign pencils, they're gonna be like, I want to go to school, even if it's to go to show off.
Right.
But I have the tools.
Right.
I can go. Give them that opportunity to go. And education, reading, because last year as well, my mom's past student sent books to help the foundation as well, just reading books. And Rico, I tell you, if you go on my page, you'll see the reviews of the students who's like, we thank you so much. Just books, just reading books, to help them, just to build up their vocabulary, to keep them off the streets, just to keep their mind functioning, so.
Does the powers that be in Jamaica, do they help contribute as well, seeing that you're contributing? Do they match or?
I've only had one company that contribute, and it's Dunrich. I remember he played at the Memorial from Jamaica.
Yes.
That company, that guy, his name is Billy Trail.
Wow.
He sent over money as well to help with the students. But outside of that, I've got no help from anyone else. And when I get to that department where the shipping, the taxing, and I said to them, it's for the foundation, I'm paying the same amount of money that's anybody shipping anything.
Wow.
Yeah. And even when I'm shipping from here, you would think, because I have a 501c3, they would help. It's still the same. People, as I said, the world has changed. Yeah. And it's okay. Because I know I'm doing it from my heart, and it's for my brother.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What else do you want folks to know?
You guys do not have to, because a lot of people don't come to events anymore. But if you don't want to come, it's okay. The day after the party, which is the 23rd, that Sunday, I will be collecting all the books, all the pencils, all the sharpeners, whatever book, whatever institutional school material you have, if you have a laptop you want to contribute, anything that you guys can contribute. You don't necessarily have to go out and purchase anything if you don't have the money, but any books, pencils, sharpener, eraser, crayons, you just can go ahead and send. And if you guys have any light worn school shoes, I'm taking that also, because we have pupils down there that doesn't even have shoes for school. So I would like for you guys just to dig up whatever you have. If your son bought a shoe, you bought school shoes for your son and it's unable to fit them anymore, and it's not torn out or anything, and it's lightly worn, will be an appreciation, shown of that as well.
The next time we come up, we're gonna talk about get them like a 101 course in real estate.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of folks don't know, especially since the laws and everything has changed recently, and it keeps changing.
It is.
And folks don't know the first step to go about being a homeowner. So I think I need you to come back and talk about that as well.
Absolutely. That's not a problem. I definitely will do that.
All right, so give them the information for the party.
All right, so the party is going to be held at Bliss Lounge. That's on Memorial Drive. Everybody's familiar with that in Stone Mountain. It's going to be Saturday, July 22nd. We're going to be opening the doors from 10 p.m. We'll have live performances by Kiprich, General B, Rounded. We have Rats Fraser here from Atlanta. We have Schoolboy. We also have Matty. We just added Matty as well. Okay. And we have Shenko. So Shenko is the youngest one that's on there. Yes. And, we have different flavors, but we have the major players are going to be doing the 90s music, the old school rock.
The best era of music.
The best era of music. Exactly. And that's why I went with them.
Yes. Good choice. Good choice.
That's why I went with them, because 90s music will forever live on. Yeah. The music now, Rico, man. Oh, God, man. I can't even. All right, suppose our music come out next week. Last week. I can't repeat the words of those songs. I
just had a Lexus in here a couple of days ago, and he was talking about that.
Yes.
And he was saying, he that's his favorite. Obviously, he grew up in that era, and he was an artist in that era.
Yeah.
But that's his favorite era of music.
Somebody had said to me, Keisha, Lexus is in Atlanta now. I'm like, I didn't know. Because if he was, better can cook it, better pass through too.
Let's reach out to him.
Yeah.
For sure.
But the event, and then we're gonna be musically in tune by Navis Baum from Atlanta, Sky Level from out of Jamaica, and also Richie Poo from Florida. And then our hosts, we have guest hosts. We have Miss Toya Stash from Atlanta, as well as Jay Icon from New York, which was Slaughter good friend, and also Kimone from New Jersey. So, it's going to be different flavor in the building, Gotcha. It's going to be an all-white event. All white is Slaughter's favorite color. Yes. It shows your imperfection if you have on, when you have on white.
But Slaughter didn't care.
He didn't care. He didn't care. Right?
He was proud.
He was
very proud.
Exactly.
Very, very proud. Now, how about the Slaughter Tone sound? Because I was hearing a rumor somewhere that Keisha Platinum is going to continue the Slaughter Tone sound. So is that going to happen or not? Is that going to manifest?
As much I would love to, I don't have the time for it. I don't.
I understand.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love music in Rico. I love it.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And you know music.
I like exactly.
which is the difference. You know music. You know when a selector is going good and when he's not doing good.
Absolutely. Yeah. My dad was a selector.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's we grew up in a yard where Daddy have the sound system.
Gotcha.
It's called Dandemite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know how to select.
Yes. Yes. Turntable go all the way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which some of you selectors don't even have a clue what a turntable is.
No. And Slaughter have his record boxes.
Yes.
With tons of records. He has his pouches. So he went through all the eras. Not just the laptop eras. I know that. Like these laptops.
He was one of the last ones to go to laptop, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
So I know the history.
Yeah.
I know the history.
Yeah.
Folks, once again, our special guest today, Miss Keisha Platinum. The event is
Flawless, July 22nd. And guys, just come out. If you guys know what my events are like, you guys need to come out and enjoy yourself this evening. It's gonna be fun. Definitely.
And I didn't know, but it's the last one.
Yes. So it's the last one.
If you really wanted to show your support, and if you love Slaughter, if you even knew Slaughter, Just come on and show him some support.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Mr.
My
Rico.
pleasure. My pleasure.
And the Flavor Radio. Log on to it,
Yes,
theflavorradio.com.
been here for 14 years and still going strong.
Absolutely.
All right. This has been another edition of Take 5. My special guest today is Keisha Platinum. The event, once again, July 22nd at Bliss Lounge. And we'll catch you next time on another edition of Take 5.
In at the party we floss it. Money pan money the in at the food basket. Bust the crowd everywhere we go we start it. Top shelf we come and a spill pan carpet. Hear me now, Slaughtertone Foundation presents Flawless. It's an all-white event. That one a big is a big daddy, so make sure you're daddy at the Bliss Lounge July 22nd this year. That's 2023. Hear me now, Flawless. Big, big, big. It's a big daddy. Caron and I got daddy. Kiprich I got daddy. Rasfazer Jr. got daddy. Hear me now, who I got daddy again? Schoolboy, I Belly Ranks and a whole it more big stars I got daddy. Big sounds I got daddy too. So here we now. Pay your money, shoot through the door. Cause here we go on for your foundation. You know some money I got spend back on people. We support people and make sure people alright. Hear me now, Slaughtertone in a Zion. That one a big. Hey, Keisha Platinum, big up your damn self. Cause that one a gone. Duff buckle we shall out on the table. We full of cheddar, we no put it on bagel. We money enough, you know. Can't be disabled. Floss every night, but we life still stable. Slaughtertone Foundation, flawless, all white, big.